I would again start with Abhishek because you are the one who is directly involved in a manufacturing process, and you mentioned very well that we are capable of producing those world class. But in terms of application, how do you, what suggestions you have, what ideas you have where we could now become really the world class applicators or execution and people don't find faults with those leaking or seepage on the tile? Not just tile, I'm just using tiles as a metaphor just to say the quality of the product that we are going to offer now.
I think we've always known, but this government has again reiterated that skill development is the biggest thrust area. Yeah. And the tile mason training is one such example which we are doing. But I think we're in trouble if we don't do basic skill development. I heard somebody saying that, I don't remember who it was, but one of the large industrialists, that India has about 350 people, 350 million people who are employable, and they're all employed. So if we don't train the rest, where are we going to get the basic skills? Forget the quality which we're talking about buildings and all of that, but even if you go further in your own homes, if you don't have skill development having at every single aspect, small things, I think that's a major, major issue. So I would just say that each one of us needs to be responsible to activate our internal resources to skill development wherever we feel we are experts. And one architect and builder-led example which comes to my mind is in Pune. All the builders of Pune have got together and they have something called, an organization called Kushal. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it's an institute which all builders have participated in and put in money. And they have got industry participants. We are a visiting faculty there. In fact, we're a permanent faculty there. We're training masons. So it's an institute with all builders have taken up. And they're training masons, they're training plumbers, they're training various other electricians, etc. And it's builder-led. Pune builder-led. So replications of that.
So I will just continue this to, on the extreme right of this panel is about the quality aspect. I remember you were talking about the whole standardization and verifiable aspect of quality. And in that sense, how do we look at the whole transformation business? And then I'll take the last comments from all the panelists and we will probably open it for question answer.
See, you mean quality in terms of the
No,
design?
you had mentioned about this issue that whether it is design or deliverables or execution, the standardization is something which would help us.
See, for every little thing, we always look at international designers. See, what we get from international designers or international architects is nothing but a good concept. But we haven't actually looked at what exactly is happening in our country. If I may use the word, it's actually a brain drain. It may sound a little weird, but it is a brain drain that is happening because most of us, most of my fraternity is running towards getting the design done overseas. There is nothing different that they do, but what they do is, they do in a channeled manner. They do in a very systematic manner. When you see a drawing, like if I'm looking from a developer's perspective, if I get a drawing from somebody who has done some work outside, if I get it from 3 different guys, I see there is a kind of standardization at what level they do what is the width they use, what is the kind of proportions they use. But that doesn't exist locally. If I get it done locally, so what is missing?
So quickly, where do you think the intervention should come so that we are able to achieve what you're saying about a standardized way of delivering?
I think it should come basic at the education level itself.
Okay, so with this, we go for the last round of comments. So Ravi, first from you. So he says that it has to probably start the way we teach architecture and design and how we equip our youngsters to come into the profession. So quick.
I go back to my original position that the West maybe is an expert at doing more with more. Okay. We have to learn how to do more with less. And that's our problem. Right? So we cannot learn from the West. Okay. Our cities, you just look at the per capita energy they run with. Our mega cities, you compare it with, the West has hardly any mega cities, right? They cannot support such mega cities. We are surviving such huge, agglomerations. And look at the energy that is required to run our city. it would be 1/10 of what it requires to run New York or something. We just can't afford 10 times the energy. You want to raise the standards? It's just impossible.
No,
So my belief is that we have to learn how to do more with less. And that's where you cannot learn from the West.
okay, so your one-liner for the transformation agenda is do more with less.
And we have to learn it from ourselves.
Okay, good one.
I think what he says, there the question of test of ability comes there, no? When you are trying to do more with the less, this is where this thing comes
So
into it.
efficiency and ability.
And then talking about the role of the architect in transformation from the government point of view, my experience is actually the COA, Council of Architecture Act, has not been respected by the governments, state governments. That's one thing very important. Even in our state, the state architect post is filled by a chief engineer.
So your transformation
Yeah.
agenda is hire genuine Council of Architecture registered architects for all jobs. Good one. Okay, Abhishek.
I think, be responsible independently and honestly. And I think I'm super positive about India. You give the same nation, the same public who's fairly, unruly a good product, and he maintains it. So Delhi Metro is a classic example. There are no pan spits there, nothing at all. You give the entire Janta a great product, and they look after it. So
Believe in ourselves.
absolutely.
Fantastic. Okay, Pradeep. Your one-liner for the transformation agenda.
I think transformation starts at home.
Okay. Venu.
I would say it is a synergy and interface between all the stakeholders concerned with the public realm, from the government to the architects to specialists to academia to researchers to NGOs to citizen organizations. There is no other. We must remember that in public realm there is no other. We are all one. Therefore, it is time that we realize that there is no other. It's important that the government also focuses on the interface. It has set up big target list, but there is no working drawing list of how this interface can be done between the various stakeholders. And as long as we don't transcend the other notion, we cannot build cities.
That's fantastic. Okay, so with this, I would like to thank all my panelists for their wonderful inputs.